What's up, guys? This is Mark. Figured we'd start doing housekeeping right at the front of the show, so the people who don't quite make it to the end sometimes can hear these things, and for the people who already know, you can just skip through it till you hear the music, and the show will just continue on as usual. So with that said, here's housekeeping. You can follow us on Facebook, both JAMUP and Matt Archer Media, if you want everything Matt Archer Media, Ohio Wrestlecast, Bunch of Potheads Podcast, JAMUP, and whatever future things we may do. Just everything all together. You can go ahead and follow us at facebook.com/MattArcherMedia. JAMUP is also on Facebook. If you purely just want to follow JAMUP and Jeffy, facebook.com/JAMUP Podcast is where you can find us there. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. All audio versions of the podcast are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If we're not for some reason, shoot us a message. We'll do our best to get on there for you. Video versions of the podcast are available at youtube.com/MattArcherMedia. Come over, see our pretty faces. Like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. You'll get notified every time a new episode comes out. If you want a t-shirt, you can go to mattarcher.threadless.com for the time being. You can follow us on Instagram as well, at Matt Archer Media. Jeffy's on there. You can follow him at Jeff Hughes MMA. Damn. I'm also on there at Western Jesus on Instagram. That might be it, Stitch. What do you think? Yeah. Until further notice, here's the show.
That goes for you, Walter. Better be only one take this time.
All right. We'll just get right into it.
Get into it. Oh.
Intro. Welcome to Jam Up number 22, everyone. I am Mark Thomas. This is MMA superstar Jeff Lights Out Hughes. And we are here today to have Jam Up 22, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest intro I've ever done, I think.
But it works. It works for me.
Yeah, it's probably the smoothest and most professional intro I've probably ever done.
By the way, hearing MMA superstar never gets old.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
Now
it's not true, but I'm here.
Now I was thinking Jared because of the comment he made on the last episode. It's like, superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't even had his UFC debut. He's a superstar.
It's coming March 9th.
Yeah. Well. But yeah. You are an MMA superstar to me, sir.
Thank you.
And, yeah, welcome to Jam Up number 22. We got quite a few things to talk about. It's been a few weeks since we've done one of these. We were pretty consistent there for a while.
What happened? What did we do? What changed things up? I don't remember.
I think weather.
Oh, yeah.
And you training probably took up some time, I would think.
Yeah. Are we on? This is what, 2.5 weeks, which is... been a long time for us, actually. It feels like it's been a while.
In the beginning, there was like 2 months in between episodes, probably. But I can look real quick, see what the date was.
I would like to see.
But, yeah, you've been training a lot. While I do that, let's talk fight update. What's been going on? How's it going?
Training has been going really good. Knock on wood. Nothing, no crazy injuries. Training real hard. This week has been a little rough, me being under the weather, but it was actually a nice little break. Today's the first day in probably 3 days that I've felt well enough to be out of the house. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of sleep, which is not always a bad thing. So, but training wise, man, we are dialed in, ready to go. I'm ready to fight today. Outside of this little man cold I have.
That's a good thing with a man cold and all the training you're doing and everything, and you're still like
6 weeks out. Yeah, 6 weeks,
over a month. Damn.
Yeah. So, man, I can't. There's nothing. I'll bet I'm gonna do something tonight. Try to sweat this last little, bug out, and then tomorrow back to hard training. So I'm excited, man. This is the first time that I've actually felt really good training.
Nice.
Diet's on point. Everything's great. Like, I can't complain about anything right now. So.
Good. No, that's all really good to hear, especially if you were sick just sick prior. You know what I mean? And you say, I'm ready to fight today. You got all that time. That's a good sign.
Yep.
I'm looking for it. Anybody that doesn't know, March 9th, ESPN +4, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeffy's UFC debut on Fight Night.
Something we've been wanting to do since we were 17 years old. Right before we graduated high school, man. I was ready to. I remember telling my mom, I was like, I'll be in the UFC one of these days. And at first, everybody thought it was kind of a little pipe dream, and which, I mean, at
that point, it was.
It was, and I don't hold it against anybody for doubting that I'd ever get to that point, to the point I'm at now. But it's actually probably the best thing, because I know I'm not the only one that anybody's ever doubted. But it's put a chip on my shoulder that I think will always be there in life.
No,
there's always. You tell me I can't do something, makes me want to do it even more.
No, that's probably the case for most people, and that's a good chip to have on your shoulder. Yeah. There's worse chips to have on your shoulder,
Right. The in the last probably 3 years though, the support is out. It's very helpful, and you see a lot of people flip the script on me. That they're the ones going, this is just a phase, this is just a pipe dream, but. Hey, we're here. Nobody can do what they want to do with their dreams unless they actually put the hard work in, which I feel like I have.
No, for sure. You did exactly what Shia LaBeouf wanted you to do. You didn't let your dreams be dreams, Jeff. Your pipe dream, that pipe was pretty short. So good job, sir.
Thank you.
Couldn't be prouder.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you've been a day one, man. You've been a day one, so I appreciate that.
I've been like negative days, probably.
Back when the only fighting I was doing was on the playground.
Yep, or a trampoline.
Or a trampoline, yeah. That was actually, not to jump too far forward, but somebody brought up tell a story about the old trampoline days.
Oh, is that a question for the Q&A?
It's a question.
Shit. Okay, cool. I can't wait for that one, then.
That's probably going to end our show, I would say, is the Q&A, right?
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah. But I did answer our question. January 15th was the day the episode went out, which means we did it probably 2 days prior. And it's the 30th today, so that means it's been 15 days. So it's one day over 2 weeks.
Yeah, which is normal. It just feels a lot longer than usual.
Yeah. I mean, we've been able to put them out like on a weekly basis most of the time. So like this is our abnormal at this point, which is good, I would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to hear about the fight. Can't wait for it. And we're still regular. Not to be confused with bowel movements. But I guess we'll get right into the topics. First off, let's talk Fight Night 143. The debut on ESPN for UFC.
And ESPN Plus.
I guess we'll start off with the logical start with VanZant and Ostovich.
That was actually a really good fight.
Yeah.
And two obviously beautiful women.
Yeah.
And you don't see that all the time in MMA. This is a brutal sport.
Well, as Brendan Schaub put it, she was on Brendan Schaub's, I think it was Below the Belt or whatever.
Who was that? Paige? Okay.
And he told her, he was like, you and Rachel are hotter than the ring girls. I was like, no, I agree with
And that was the truth.
But yeah.
Nothing against the ring girls. They're beautiful as well.
They are,
but you just don't see that very often. And man, they delivered. That was a fun fight.
It really was. It was a hell of a fight. VanZant won, which I didn't really see coming.
Really?
So, I mean, I don't know. I just look at Ostovich, and she looks so much bigger. But I know VanZant had a little more experience. VanZant
has what I've noticed, because I've watched majority of her fights. Every fight, you think she's out, but that girl has a heart of a lion, dude.
Oh, yeah.
She comes back almost every time, and like, she always gets taken down early in the fight, and you always think she's getting controlled. And dude, she just flips the switch, and she's just like, "No, I'm not losing." Which is like, honestly, as a fighter, is the thing I respect the most. Was when you win the little battles.
Yeah, she'll get put in a hold or some kind of grapple or something, and she somehow gets out of it. She like worms her little way out of there, and it's incredible. Like right before that day, Saturday. It's on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched the free fights that they put on there, and I watched the one, and I think I'd already seen it, but it wasn't fresh in my memory. But it was Thug Rose and her, where she was just bloodied to shit by the end. Like,
yeah, and Thug Rose is the best 115-pound girl, and she's a champion right now.
Yeah.
So that's the quality opponents she's been fighting.
But she went, I believe she went all the rounds in that fight. I can't quite remember.
I don't remember that fight. I think she did go. I think it went all 3, though.
And, man, I definitely admired her tenacity. She does not give up. So, but I guess my point with all that is that, like, even though I knew that, like, I still, for some reason, I look at her as smaller, and I don't know. I guess I misjudged her for a minute.
Right. And I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people think, like, she's a poster child. You know, she's very pretty. They're going to give her they're just going to let her beat these talented people,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work that way. I mean, everybody in the UFC belongs there, in my opinion.
At this point, yeah, for sure. Like, I think maybe in the
outside
in the
of
Ronda
CM Punk.
yeah, and no, I don't. Well, I guess that'll put us right on the next one. Greg Hardy versus I can't even remember what the dude was. Do you remember that dude's name?
Oh boy, I should know. We have a common opponent.
Yeah, but he's yeah, I can't.
I'll
remember
look that
his name.
up real quick.
I didn't even write it down. That's how much I didn't remember his name. I guess.
I
Sorry,
shouldn't.
dude.
Any other day, I would have been like, yeah, no problem, I got this. Alan Crowder.
There you go.
Yes.
And yeah, he's how do you feel about him?
Well, I'm gonna start with Greg Hardy, and unpopular. The unpopular, I guess, choice of words for him is yes, he messed up in the past.
Yes,
but I think everybody does deserve a second chance.
I agree.
Regardless of how, I mean, it's right on the borderline. Does he deserve a second chance? Does this guy deserve the attention and the money and the fame that comes along with what the UFC provides people?
Yeah.
I would say yes. He was young, dumb, and made a bad decision.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't be. He shouldn't get a shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially with as well as he did on the Contender Series.
He's proven himself that he belongs. I mean, for one, it wasn't just like a regular guy from the NFL. This guy was a freak Pro Bowler. He's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
He's proven in his amateur and pro fights that the guy hits like a freight train.
For sure.
I mean,
for sure.
You even saw in the Crowder fight. If it wasn't for the experience of Crowder, I think he would have been just another victim in the first minute.
If he had a lower level competitor against him, he probably would have beasted that dude.
With that being said, I think Crowder exposed him, especially on the ground, because it was just, I mean, you could tell the guy, the way he got out of that, he got that crucifix on side control, and if it wasn't for that fence, it would have been there would have never ever been an illegal blow because that fight would have been stopped because he muscled his way out of that.
Yeah,
because of the fence. He pushed out, which is the right thing to do. It's a proper. He did that right.
But it's all he could do.
It's all he knew how to. He didn't know any other way to get out of it.
He had no other strategy than that, which most experienced fighters would. They would have done so much more than he did in that situation.
Jared was telling me, like, man, this world class athlete was gassed. He gassed, and I said, if you've never been there, if you've never been in deep waters in a fight, and which I mean, it wasn't in deep waters. It was still the first round, but like, if you're not prepared to do that, it's a humbling experience because I've been I know I've talked about it on here. My first amateur fight was a wake up call. Like, oh, I might die in there if I don't get my cardio under control. Like, you think you have good cardio till you go in and try and you test it in a fight.
Yeah, no, I believe
and that's what he did. So, do I think when he comes back he's going to be a better fighter? Yes. But is he going to clear that gap of being able to fight the top level and get his cardio under control and figure it out on the ground? I don't think so. I think any other fighter, a higher level fighter than Alan Crowder, nothing against Alan Crowder, but a higher level guy puts him away.
Yeah.
Survives the barrage in the first minute, like Crowder did, and it doesn't see that second round.
No, I agree with all that for sure. What about the illegal knee strike to the head? Which I never really, like, I guess They used to do that. They used to be legal, right?
And well, it was not legal to ever in the UFC for a downed opponent. Maybe in the old days.
Oh, for
maybe,
a downed opponent.
Yeah, downed opponent.
Okay, because I was saying, I'm seeing them throwing flying knees all the fucking
Yeah.
time to the head.
As long as I think I should know the rules, but I know for a fact if your hands are on the mat, there's no knees thrown to the head, and clearly he was on the mat.
No, yeah, it was definitely what would be in like the wrestling business, a low blow. Like it was unfair.
Now, I don't know. I've never taken a shot like that in a fight. I don't know if Crowder could have continued. I think he did the smart thing and didn't continue because the ref. I mean, his ref flat out said, "Hey, you don't continue, I'm stopping this fight.
Yeah,
like, the fight's over."
Yeah,
and
I mean,
me, I'm hard headed, and I probably would have got up and possibly would have got fucked up after that. You know, but the guy, in my opinion, did the right thing, and I think with the going through, I don't know if Greg Hardy, nobody knows but him if he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It might have been instinct. He might have been, I mean, you take oxygen off that brain, man, you start fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been his, like, oh, God, I got to do something. It's there, I'm taking it. But I think it was the right decision to stop the fight.
No, I agree. It would be a bad decision. It would have been a bad decision for Alan Crowder to continue, like you said. I mean, that could have been. At least he didn't lose now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You're not just another victim to the Greg Hardy's hype train.
Yep, because it could have been even worse. What if he took a couple more huge punches to the head after that and his brain was never the same?
Right. It goes back to my contender series. Remember when I got low blowed and I kept telling the ref, no, let's keep going. That knee, say he would have took the full 4 or 5 minutes, Hardy could have got his gas back. It could have been a different fight after that.
Yeah, especially after that little break.
So that was another thing that was like, man, this fight needs to be stopped. This guy it's what, maybe 2 minutes into the second round, and he's fighting for air. I mean, you saw after he kneed him, Hardy fell on his back.
Yeah.
So
he knew he fucked up.
Yeah, he knew he fucked up. But
sure.
The only thing I did not like about him is in the press conference is he kind of defended it like, oh, no, he was coming up. I saw he was coming up. But, like, clearly it's on camera. Dude was not up.
Yeah.
Don't defend yourself. Don't defend something that you know is wrong. Like, that's like getting caught in a lie and still lying about it. Like, no.
Yeah,
I'm not caught. This is what happened. But it is what it is. And, maybe one day down the road I'll be fighting Greg Hardy. So,
yeah.
Or Alan Crowder. I mean, they're in my division. It could happen.
Oh. Hope you beat the fuck out of both of them, though, sir.
Thank you. I will.
My French people. And last but not least, TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. Cejudo.
What are your thoughts on it?
Very early stoppage. Very early stoppage. I mean, he was coming out. He was trying to do a single leg takedown when he fucking jumped on him. Like I'm sure everybody thinks this. You know what I mean? The only person that doesn't is Henry Cejudo and his team, probably.
You think so? You don't think it was a justified stoppage?
No, I don't.
I do.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Dude, why?
Okay, it was a title fight, and they usually let title fights go a little bit, but I think it was one of those 50-50 calls where he could have let it go, but what happens if he would? I mean, he was still conscious. But he was one clean shot away from being out.
Oh no, he was very. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking any credit away from Cejudo at all. He got him. He rocked him there for a minute, but he didn't fully like. Other refs would have let that go, and TJ could have won after that.
He could have came back. You're right.
Like the possibility was there.
Yeah, I think. I think it was a good stoppage because in the rules it says a guy that's you have to protect the fighter at all times. The fighter has to protect themselves at all times. I think even when he got up, he was still on rubbery legs. It was a 50-50 call in my opinion. I think it was the right call. Just from obviously TJ Dillashaw is pissed off. He got stopped in 30 seconds. One of the biggest. One of the biggest fights in UFC history. It really was. I mean, champion versus champions. No, you can't. That's a big fight.
No, I agree.
Cejudo for all the doubters that say that it was he got lucky against Demetrius Johnson, prove that that dude is not a joke.
He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's the Kurt Angle of UFC.
There was people that were saying that he got lucky. He lost. He shouldn't have won that fight. I think a lot of people were like going, okay, Demetrius Johnson is that good, and Henry Cejudo is that good.
Yeah,
because TJ is no joke.
Not at all.
The extra 10-pound weight cut probably affected him.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think it affected him a lot. So when they, from my understanding, they're going to run it back at 35, and now they're fighting for TJ's belt. Could be a whole different fight.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about TJ going down, cutting weight, and fighting for another belt as opposed to going up? A lot of people have criticized him for that. He said, "You don't go down, you go up."
Right. The only thing I criticize him about is he was talking about after he beat Cejudo, he's going up to 45 to take Holloway's belt. It's like, okay, are you looking too far ahead, or which I don't like to do. Maybe he does. I don't. Not everybody's the same. Going down though, going down is definitely not the best option. People are starting to realize that you're not seeing a whole lot of fighters in the same weight classes as you used to.
Yeah,
because it's. Go and cut 10 pounds, or do something real quick, then go cut 10 pounds and see if you can do the same thing better.
Yeah.
You're not going to.
No,
something physical, like run down the street and back. You're going to be, it's going to suck.
Yeah, roof for a day or something. Anything really. Like
anything.
Chasing kids around Disneyland.
Exactly. You're going to be fucking, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're dehydrating your brain. Your brain's going to shut off a little bit easier.
No, for sure.
There's just not enough time, I think.
I agree. And you're right. Cutting weight, that's probably why a lot of those punches rocked him as much as they did.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was wobbly kneed, and he was on the verge of losing, but he wasn't there yet, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, I would say that it's probably 50-50 down the middle of who thinks.
It could have went either way, and it just happened to go that way, which somebody gets the shit end there,
Yeah.
But Henry Cejudo's on top of the world. He's getting dates with Nikki Bella and shit.
Yeah, what about that? Come on now.
What?
Good for him.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I don't know Nikki Bella personally, but
she's my least favorite of the Bella twins.
I would think she's probably not the funnest person to be around. She looks like she's very
stuck up.
Yeah, but maybe that's just her character.
That's why I'm like, I was always more of a Brie guy. She's with Daniel Bryan. She seems like a way cooler girl.
Yeah, anybody with Daniel Bryan has to be cool, because I don't feel like he would put up with anybody.
No.
Did you see the belt he probably not, because you were watching SmackDown when I got here. I guess he released a new belt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see. I didn't get all the way through SmackDown yet. So
sorry if I spoiled that for you.
No, it's okay. They spoiled a few things. They always do, because I don't watch it till the next day most of the time. So, but yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight night on ESPN Plus? ESPN 4 Plus. I don't know.
I didn't. Which one was it? I just watched.
That's that. This one was the first one.
Okay, yeah, and I watched. Oh, we can't leave out Donald Cerrone either.
Oof.
But
that boy,
I thought that it was like a pay-per-view. Yeah. I felt like it was very much a pay-per-view.
I think they're gonna get away
just without
from
all the cursing.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get away from. I don't know. I don't know UFC and what. Just my fandom. I think they're gonna get away from so many pay-per-view cards being
and just trying to get
blockbuster cards and
go to the
because there's so many. One, it's another way. It's another way for them to produce money.
Yeah.
Revenue, and I think not everybody wants to pay $60 a month.
I definitely can't pay $60 a month.
So you're going to see a lot less illegal streaming and more. If you can't pay $5 a month, then you better figure it out. If you're a fight fan and you don't want to pay an extra $5 a month, you got issues.
Yeah, essentially it's just a broader WWE network. Yeah. Is all it is. And as much criticism WWE's gotten for the network, it's gonna pay off in the end if it hasn't already.
I don't. What criticism do they get? Like, why?
Well, there's always speculation how it's gonna be a failure, and it goes up and it goes down, but that's because of the product. You know what I mean? Not everybody. wants to watch every single pay-per-view. People just want to. Half their subscribers, I'm sure, are for Wrestlemania and Royal Rumble and SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but they're giving away free trials every time. So the first month is always free and shit.
Yeah.
So I couldn't recollect it all now because this was kind of years ago when it all first started.
And dude, there was a lot of bugs at first. So I originally, the day one, I was a subscriber, and I got rid of it after that first month because you couldn't even watch a whole card because it would freeze.
And they've changed the format a lot too, like the way it's all set up. It was very different than it was when I first got it. It's much easier. I wish it was more set up like Netflix in a way, like, because you really have to go searching for things on there sometimes.
Yeah, I think that you do have to search way too much. Like, even like the 205 Live, you have to.
Yeah.
That should be like, after watching that match, that should be one of the first things that you can click on.
Yeah, but there's like 40 years of content on there, you know what I mean? So, like, they got a little cleverer, and you just basically go to the certain things you want to watch, like, by category, like pay-per-views or this or that, and now they categorize it by year, which makes it so much fucking easier.
It does.
So as time goes on, like, they just make it a little.
You gotta
bit
think
better.
it's only what, 5 years old, the network, if that, 4 years old. I mean, it's gonna get Netflix wasn't the greatest at first.
No, not at all.
So it's gonna get better, and I got rid of the network, but that's because that's probably gonna change all again.
Yeah,
I'm trying to save some money, but it kind of our next segment is the Royal Rumble. I don't think you have it written down, but
I do.
You do. That show was so good, it kind of got me back into the product.
Dude, I mean, I'm always excited for Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is my favorite event. It's my favorite match. It's always been really exciting, especially when you don't know who's coming out, and like
it's kind of like the season opener.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And which has very much become a thing, the road to WrestleMania. Like, all of the pay-per-views after that leading up to WrestleMania are like, it's kind of like
what are we going to do?
TV show.
Yep.
Like, it's a series leading up to the culmination at WrestleMania. Like, everything's happening in those few months.
It's kind of a shame it's only a 4-month span when if they switched, obviously they can't switch SummerSlam and WrestleMania, but if it was more of like that 6 month, it would probably make things even better.
Like Royal Rumble January, WrestleMania December.
The whole year?
Yeah, and that'll just be the season, because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
You know, WrestleMania to WrestleMania is a season.
Yeah. And if you could continue, then it would be kind of hard to do title changes, because we all know, even before Rollins won the Royal Rumble, we knew he was going after Lesnar.
Yes, for sure.
So,
and I knew Becky was going to go after Ronda just because they had set it up for months
with the ladder match and
her coming in and attacking him on Raw before Survivor Series, and her getting her nose busted open and bleeding everywhere. When Becky took off, you know what I mean, and got so over.
She's really like probably the biggest star in WWE right now.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss was, I thought. Charlotte Flair was for a minute, too. Becky is now the face of the women's division, and I love it. I love this fucking, like, female Stone Cold vibe she's got. She's so, like, she's way better on the mic than she used to be, so she's killing it.
She's killing it on the mic.
Killing it. I love her so much. I can't watch SmackDown or Raw the other night and watch her come out and do her thing and not just by the end be like, oh my fucking God, I love you so much. Like, I can't every single time.
She definitely stepped her game up. From what I haven't.
And she was good to
watch
begin
week
with.
to week like you guys, and I don't know all storylines and all that, but it was definitely. For me, I didn't see her coming out, and winning the Royal Rumble. I did not.
I didn't either, but I loved every single
I thought maybe they would somehow, whoever won, like Charlotte won, and she'd put her number one contender spot up on the line at the next pay-per-view, and then Becky would beat her.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Even when Lana was coming out for people who didn't watch, Lana was in a match prior, or no, she was out with Rusev, and Rusev. She fell off she was pushed off the ring accidentally by Rusev, and she fell and she like rolled her ankle or twisted.
I thought it was hilarious that Rusev was like, he wasn't like, he didn't like go out to like help her. He just said, "Get up, Lana, get up."
Yeah, like get up. But so when she was number 30 or 28 or something like that,
28,
29,
yeah.
28, I think. In the Royal Rumble, she came out limping and couldn't even make it to the ring. Eventually, refs came out and Fit Finlay came out and right, that's who that was.
Fit Finlay, yeah.
Yeah, and
Irish favoritism is what we were calling.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, and was trying to help her, and then Becky eventually came out. Was like, "Look, motherfuckers, let me go to the ring," and he gave her the okay. She went in there, won. That's what happened for people that don't know what we're talking about. Even when Lana was walking out limping and shit, I was just like, where are they going with this? Like,
Right.
I did not for a second think Becky would be out there. Not only that, but Becky had sold that she had hurt her knee prior in the Asuka match. Which, not only that, Becky had a nip slip. Did you hear about that?
No.
The network blacked out for a second because of her nip slip. And when it comes back on, you see her putting her shit back over. And
I
they
did
blacked
not
her out
know
because of a
that.
nip slip. Yeah. Trust me. I got on Google. I was like, where is it? Because I didn't notice it either. But it popped up on Facebook, and it got, like, media coverage, like Fox News. Everybody was talking about it. So
What?
Becky's that over.
Yeah, that's definitely means she's that popular. But like, why make a big deal? It's just a nipple.
Yeah, not only that, but, like even if you were, like, have you ever paused TV and tried to see anything in detail? You can't.
No.
You're not seeing anything. You're just using your imagination.
Right. They could have cut away from the. I mean, there was 12 other girls, 10 other girls in there that they could have cut away from.
Yeah, it wasn't like Miss Kitty at fucking. What was that? What was that pay-per-view where there was
She
a
was
mud
doing
wrestling thing and she ripped off the
yeah.
top and showed her titties, just straight up, showed her titties, and then Sergeant Slaughter came in and threw a towel over it.
Did she get fired because of that?
I think so, and then no, she didn't. I don't think she got fired later for something else. And Jerry
I remember
Lawler
went
her.
with her, yeah, and then he came back, of course, to annoy the rest of us.
What? It was like it wasn't like Apocalypse or something. It was Armageddon.
Armageddon, she did.
99 or something like that.
Back when it was okay to show your tits.
It was pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It was perfectly like they couldn't get any FCC trouble.
They
or
did
anything.
the swimsuit with Jacqueline. She showed her tits. I remember it was on tape, and
She was on somebody's shoulders or whatever, and
She fixed her bikini, and it was like literally. I want to say me and Jason Walker. As funny as that is, Jason Walker was
Yeah.
sitting there. Anyway, like, we looked at each other, and it was on VHS, so we're like, rewind it. And we rewound it like 10 times. We're
There
like,
was
tits.
that happened a couple times with Jacqueline. Then I think it was Jacqueline was on somebody's shoulders, like a dude's shoulders or something, and somehow her top got ripped off, and there were her big old black titties just bouncing around. She covered them up. I think she like fell to the ground, like rolled out of the ring and ran and shit, something like that.
Jacqueline was not afraid to show her boobs.
And like at the time, I remember I did not find Jacqueline attractive, but in my older age, I look at Jacqueline, I was like, damn, why didn't I ever find Jacqueline?
Well, it's
attractive?
because you had Sable and Sonny then.
That's true.
They were. That's what I feel like when I was a kid. That's a hot chick with blonde hair and big tits was like that's all I cared about.
That's true. When you got Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler right there too, you're kind of like
Keibler.
drawn to them. And Lita, I was always a Lita guy.
We were talking. My 1A and 1B of all time is Stacy Keibler and Alexa Bliss, and then
Stacy Keibler is legendary.
I would say number 2 would be like past those girls would be like Trish Stratus.
Oh yeah.
You don't I never was that into Trish Stratus when I was a kid, but now I look back and I go, oh my god.
Yeah, they're just not like her anymore.
No, she's to this day she's even smoking hot. She's like 50 years old.
Yeah, she's super thin now.
She got rid of her implants and now I think she does like yoga, like a serious.
Like she doesn't like
person.
work out anymore. She just like she's like a yogi.
Yogi.
But no, I was always a Lita guy. I loved Tori Wilson too.
Let's talk about the men's rumble though. So we played a game with both rumbles. We picked a number all for $1. There was 5 of us, so we got 6 numbers.
Yeah.
And we drew them out of a hat. It was all random. And if your number won the rumble, you won the pot.
Okay.
So Jared got Lana, but obviously it was Becky. So Josh was pissed.
Yeah.
He says Lana's really the rumble winner.
Yeah, I wondered if they were gonna play that in like the next night on. They might have on SmackDown or whatever, but like Lana would come out, but like I truly should have been the winner of Lana,
Right.
and then that Lana and Becky have a match or some shit.
Which would be a probably terrible match.
Which I mean, I could sound like a dummy right now, and that totally happened.
I have no idea. I didn't watch it or look at any highlights or anything. But I picked number 10 in the men's rumble, which was Seth Rollins.
Oh, nice! So you won. Good job.
I won the money.
I know. It sucks. I couldn't make it, dude. I had to work the next day, and I had to leave with my mom and figure out something for the heating because it was about to get so fucking cold.
All right. If you we're today is Wednesday and it is fucking freezing out.
Yes, it's like snowstorm type cold, but it's not a snowstorm.
No, it's sunny out, but it says feels like -27.
Yeah, the wind's blowing like crazy, but there's snow everywhere, but there's no snow coming down. Like strange, but yeah.
But back to the Rumble is I thought it was a great Royal Rumble until number 30. What is your
I liked the number 30 thing. The Rumble itself was really good. I loved how it started with Elias and Jeff Jarrett. I actually wanted to see Elias and Jeff Jarrett sing "Be My Baby Tonight."
Yeah,
but of course, and for a second there, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna do this shit!" And then Elias attacked him. Loved that whole beginning.
Did Elias just do a heel turn?
No, Elias has always kind of been like if you interrupt him, he's gonna say "fuck you." You know what I mean? But Elias is incredibly over, so even if he was a heel, I think he'd still be popular. I like Elias.
It's bothering me.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, around here that's a normal thing. For the audio listeners, Jeff just picked like dog hair and shit off me. Maybe it was my hair. I don't know. But I really enjoyed that, and even the following night on Raw, Jeff Jarrett came out with a guitar and interrupted him again, and he ended up getting the guitar smashed over him. Elias smashed Jeff Jarrett's guitar over Jeff Jarrett. It makes me wonder if Jeff Jarrett's going to come back and wrestle a little
Oh, my God, I hope not. Because did you see him? He came out with his old attire on. It looked like it did not fit at all.
He should not wrestle as Double J Jeff Jarrett. He should wrestle as like, if he did come back, he should wrestle as like Attitude Era.
The Chosen One.
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett.
for sure.
Slap nuts.
Yeah, with like, Deborah started out with him, didn't she?
Yeah, he was already.
He was already established, but when Deborah came in, she was his manager.
Yeah, then he became.
And then she got with Stone Cold Steve Austin, married him. That whole domestic violence thing happened.
Yeah.
But all in all, the Royal Rumble was great. I loved the way it started. I loved how people came out. I loved that Johnny Gargano was number 6. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
He wore a T-shirt, number 6. It was orange and brown. I guess Johnny Manziel's number is number 6 for the Browns. It was like a Browns tribute thing because he's from Cleveland. Is that what it is? Baker Mayfield. Yeah, who's Johnny Manziel?
That was our original number 1 pick a couple years ago that flopped.
I don't know football at all. I
Baker,
just know
Baker
names.
is number 6.
They said both those names in the article I read, so I probably just got them mixed up. But, yeah, he was number 6. That's the dude's number and shit. He wore a tribute for the Browns. There's a lot of people. I don't know if people noticed that.
There was a lot of... How do you say his name? Johnny Gargano. There was a lot of Johnny Gargano hatred at the place I was at.
Really?
They all know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But
I don't know if there was a lot of hate
or are they just jealous?
I think a little bit of both. But I think it was it was just to be funny. It wasn't like we actually really hate this guy.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck him. He's successful and bullshit. Yeah.
But that was good.
Because other than that, Johnny Gargano's awesome.
Yeah, he phenomenal. That's the first time I've ever seen him. I even thought the Lesnar and Finn Balor match was short and sweet, but it was good. Did what it was supposed to do.
Surprisingly
he's
good.
Up. He's awake.
Come on, the monster is here. Go on, you got your blanket and shit. But yeah, even the Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar match was good.
I don't think there was a bad match on the card.
No, even
besides the Women's Royal Rumble, which was just awful.
It had its moments, but there was a lot of botches. They weren't really. You could tell that this was the second ever Women's Royal Rumble. I love that Lacey Evans was there, though. I love her.
Which one's Lacey Evans? From
She's
Glow?
the one who started it out with actually, I can't remember. Lacey Evans and Charlotte, I believe, started the women's Royal Rumble. Lacey Evans was the one who was in Charlotte.
Yeah. So
the like 40s pinup girl. She's great. She was great in NXT. That's when she was my NXT girl until she was
one of my numbers. I had no idea who it was, so I just threw it up in the air.
She's beautiful. She's an ex-Marine, so she's like an actual
badass. She surprised me. She was a lot better than I thought she would be.
And she's really good on the mic, cutting promos and shit. Her gimmick's really cool. But we were talking men's Royal Rumble though, but the finish of that you didn't like. I enjoyed quite a bit. What happened was R-Truth, we already knew was number 30, which I think is bullshit. We should not know who number 30 is.
We were all saying that too. 30 should be a huge number.
Yeah. The way I see it, we shouldn't know anybody's number except for maybe 1 and 2.
1 and 2 is all right in my book because, usually 1 or 2 is going to be – this year it was different, but usually 1 and 2 is going to be like the Iron Man guys that are going to be there towards the end.
Yeah. People that are going to last 45 minutes, an hour. But, R-Truth was number 30. Comes out, he's doing his, people, what's up, doing his thing. Nia Jax, he couldn't even make it to the ring. Nia Jax comes out, beats the shit out of him, and just goes in as number 30. Not sanctioned, unlike Becky. She at least got the okay.
Yeah.
And
which doesn't mean you're in the Rumble is the thing that pissed me off. It's like, nobody said you can do this.
Yeah.
The logic, I know it's all work and you're not supposed to bring too much logic into it, but there has to be a little bit.
Well, I think the way they can get away with that is they say, well, the only rule in the Royal Rumble is you have to go over the top rope and both feet have to touch the floor to be eliminated. Other than that, there's no rule. It's basically no holds barred. So I guess that's the loophole, probably. Because like I said, a couple years ago, Brock Lesnar was eliminated from the Rumble by the entire Wyatt family, 2 of which weren't even in the Rumble, and Bray Wyatt had already been eliminated.
Right.
They just went back in and eliminated him, and somehow Brock Lesnar didn't even care, didn't protest, just
went back.
Went and left. So
that's like, I think it was 92 when Hogan got eliminated and eliminated Sid Justice.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and Flair won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no protest or anything, but they ended up Hogan and Sid was at WrestleMania and Flair versus Macho Man was for the title, so it's just another Hogan thing. But so I'm back in a little bit, not balls deep, but I'm back into the product a little bit.
That's good. That's good. I like it. Royal Rumble is actually what got me back into it. I've told the story many times. AJ Styles premiering his number 3.
That was awesome.
I was back.
I was watching. I love the Rumble. It's also my favorite. I would say Mania is still the best thing ever, but the fact that it's 6 hours long is they definitely need to do the 2-day Royal Rumble weekend, I think.
I think so too, Saturday and Sunday.
Because now they have so many.
4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday.
Yeah, or
maybe like
3 hours.
3 and 3, yeah.
Especially with, you got to think, I would think majority of people that watch are on the network.
Yeah.
And they're gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah.
They're probably worried because Saturday is not, besides for fights, is not like a huge, but I think that if they tried, I think they'd be surprised on how many people do a Saturday night. Like, I would rather watch it on Saturday than Sunday, because then I don't have to wake up and go to work the next day.
That's true. Well, I mean, the way it doesn't always work like that for some people. Like, I can work he'll get up there eventually. But,
Sorry, guys. We're watching Walt try to get up on a chair that keeps rolling away from him.
Yeah, it's great.
He just looked back at us like, what the fuck?
Oh, dude,
there it is.
Nice job, buddy.
Only took him 12 times.
Forgot what I was going to say, Walt. Thanks. I think a 2-night event would be cool. They could sell tickets twice. Most people would probably buy like a package deal.
Right. Kind of like the NBA Finals or Major League Baseball. They do a 2. I mean, it's a best of 7, so it's you buy tickets for 2 games instead of just 1.
And I mean, like most people probably fly out to wherever it is. I mean,
I knew a couple people that
they're probably there all weekend anyway.
Yeah, it's a huge weekend experience. NXT and.
But I mean, they would have to really. Because night 1 would basically be all mid-card matches, I would think.
They would.
Could they have well, I guess they could have like a SmackDown night and a Monday Night Raw night.
You could do either that, or you could do one title match.
Yeah, like a main. Each
event.
one has a main event. Yeah.
The way it should be is the whole idea of having 5 main events is just stupid to me.
I agree. There's only one main event, and it's the last match.
So they could do 2 main events at that point and be both title matches.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's just my opinion on it. But enough wrestling talk for that.
Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and let's go. We're getting a little long in the tooth here. I know this probably won't be a super long one, people, just because we've got shit to do. This is an earlier day, too. Jeffy's got some things to do.
So let's do our Q&A. See if I have any more questions.
We did get some questions already. I got another message from a fellow who sent me a shit ton. Shout out to Eric Perry. Thanks for all the help, buddy.
All right.
Oh, he did give me another one, and that's a good one.
All right. Can I start it off?
Go for it.
All right. I got a few, and most of them are all about MMA.
Cool. Mostly for you, then, probably. I'll sit back and...
So, I'm not going to say... Okay, I'll say their whole name. All right, Josh Kissinger asks, was your fight at Knights of Columbus and Massillon one of your toughest fights?
Yeah.
He goes, that was a war. Bet you'd like to have that one back. So this was years ago. I was still an amateur. I believe it was my third amateur fight. It was. It was back in the day when you didn't know who you're fighting most of the time. Well, I knew I was fighting because it was for a belt.
Okay.
And I get there, and I don't see my guy anywhere. So the promoter comes up to me and goes, hey, I found somebody else for you. And I look, and I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's freaking huge.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to fight a guy that wasn't very good. He was like 8-8 or something like that, his record. Well, this guy was undefeated, 6'4", 260 pounds, muscle. I mean, it was like, and I'm a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, I never back down from a fight. Goes to a split decision, which I think I should have won, but I didn't. No excuses being made. I had a broken arm going into that fight. I broke 4 days before the fight.
You told me about the broken arm fight. This is that.
This is that one. The guy ended up having a decent, pretty successful pro career. I think he was 6-1 as a pro. I mean, it was a good fight. I could have won either way. I think I should have won. Obviously, I'm biased.
Oh, yeah. You always should win.
It wasn't one of my toughest fights. It was just lack of experience. Being a 20-year-old kid. My 5-round fights. I would say my toughest fight that I came out the winner would probably be Mo Green, the one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was a tough fight. Both LFA fights were tough. They went all 5. But as an amateur, this was definitely up there. Yeah.
I got you.
So, thank you for the question, Josh.
We're going to say names, I guess. You're going to hear this guy's name quite a bit, probably. Eric Perry asks, do you like the round setup? Do you think a 10-minute first round would make for a more exciting fight and first round finishes?
Depends. Are we only doing 2? Like in the Pride days, regular fight was 10-minute first round, 5-minute second round, and they judged it on the actual fight, not per round.
Yeah.
I don't wish on a 10-minute first round because that sounds miserable.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But I do wish they would get rid of the whole scoring it round by round and just score it on the fight, because sometimes you might have a guy that starts off slow and might lose the first half of the fight and come on strong, but he's already lost his first 2 rounds.
No, for sure.
He almost might get a finish in the 3rd round. I think they should, because it's not like boxing where there's 10, 12 rounds.
Yeah.
It's MMA where there's 3 rounds for non-title fights. I think they should judge it on the actual fight.
No, that makes sense to me. I mean, what if the 3rd round for a guy who lost the first 2 rounds is basically a fight-winning round? Like he technically won the fight in that round.
I would if they started judging it like that, there'd be a lot less controversy on judging. I would think. I would hope.
Okay.
All right. So this is a funny one. Chris Parfell. He's an asshole. We all know him. What was your initial feeling after Earl Breeze beat you in Madden, then immediately choked you out? Did you fear for your life? All right, a little backstory. Earl Breeze, he might have beat me in Madden. I don't remember that part. Immediately choked me out, which did not happen.
Yeah.
What happened was we used to wrestle. I mean, it was a bachelor pad, constantly wrestling matches, and and just beating the shit out of, a lot of drinking. So
Gotcha.
Earl and me get into it on the couch. We start on the couch fighting. And of course, I'm beating the shit out of him. And all of a sudden, he's a big guy. He's like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Pushes me off. We land on top of an Xbox 360 controller.
Oh.
On my knee. Like the way we landed was the controller was on the ground, my knee, and then his body weight on my knee. And I thought I blew out my knee. And I was like, all right, I'm done.
Damn.
So that's the Earl Breeze story. If I will give him the win, even though it was a foreign object, I would say our record's probably 121-1 against him.
Gotcha.
I've never lost besides that time.
Yeah, okay. He's got one win on you.
Yep.
What's the biggest thing you have learned from Stipe?
Biggest thing I've learned from Stipe, I would say just how to train like a champion. Like how hard he trains is I have to try to mimic it. And I've said this in interviews and stuff before. The dude is a machine, and obviously he has the winning recipe.
Yeah.
And to mimic that has been the number one thing I've learned from him. I will say me and Stipe didn't have like this buddy relationship at first, which I don't expect anybody to. I mean, he was a world champion, and I was not even in the UFC yet. He was friendly. He's always been friendly.
You guys just weren't real close or anything.
Yeah, I would say in the last 2 months, we've gotten to a relationship where, like, if I'm doing something wrong, he shows me what I'm doing wrong and how to get, like, especially when it comes to the ground stuff, because what people don't understand about Stipe on the ground is he's even better on the ground than he is on his feet, which is hard to believe because he's phenomenal on his feet. He has so many tricks that he shows me that I would say it's like having another coach in there for sure.
Nice. Hell yeah, he's definitely a good person to have your back.
Yeah, so he was great. He's great. He's, I mean, the best in the world. He's the best to ever do it, so. All right.
I figure we'll just go one.
I got one. Frank Midgetley said, "What are your short and long-term goals in the UFC?" Obviously, the long-term goal is to be a champion. That's if you're not in the UFC to be a champion, then you shouldn't be fighting.
Agreed.
My short-term goal, I guess, this year would be to crack the top 15, to get three fights this year, win them all, crack the top 15, start making enough money to support my family, save some, there is that aspect of this is my job, and the only way to make more money at my job is to be better. So that's my goals.
Gotcha. I guess we can get the question from Josh out there. This is a question for both from Josh Griffiths. Mark, what made you come up with the idea to do a podcast with Jeff? I know you've done other pods, but this has been my favorite so far. And for you, Jeff, he says, after your fight with Spitz, will you, I guess he's saying, will you do everyone a favor and call out Greg Hardy and unofficially give that guy his pink slip? Because fuck that guy. And
not a Greg Hardy fan. Josh Griffiths is not.
That comment also got a heart and 2 likes from people, just so they know. But yeah, what made me come up with the idea to do a podcast with Jeff? I was doing a podcast with my brother Jared. We were doing Jay and Mark, and Jeff was kicking ass, and we had been talking recently, I think. And I don't know how it led to you coming on the show, but you went on Jay and Mark.
I asked to be a few times. Yeah, I asked to be a guest, which is probably
you were our first guest.
Petty
actually.
thing to do, but
no, like I'm pretty sure we had talked about doing guests before, and you were one of the people we thought of, and I think you just brought it up before.
Because I never did a podcast. I always thought it, because I started getting into podcasts, and I was like, this is a good way to kind of talk to people about, instead of asking me 100 times, when is your next fight, what's going on with fighting.
It's a good way to answer those questions on the record, and people get that if they watch it. Yeah. But the way we decided to do a pod, it wasn't really my idea. I liked podcasting with Jeff. He had been on Jay and Mark, I think, like two times at that point, and Jeff just said, "Hey, why don't we just do our own podcast together? every.
I wasn't
few
trying to
weeks or
push
whatever.
Jared out, but
no, it's just like he liked doing the podcast.
Yeah, I enjoyed
and
it
he's
so
like, I'd like to
much.
do it regularly without just being like a third member on JM Mark. So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it. And
took
then
a while to pick up though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think your second time on JM Mark, right after that, we shot the first episode of what wasn't complete. We didn't even have a name for it.
No.
And then we eventually just kept the same name we came up with in that one, just shortened it to JAMUP. And Jared was our first guest.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened, people.
And what was that? 2.5 years ago or so?
Yeah, it was just over 2 years now.
Yeah. Man, that was and now it's like it's almost second nature. Like, okay, this Sunday I got podcast.
Yeah.
It's not even like, hey, when do you want to do a podcast again? It was like
That's the first time we've not done it on a Sunday since we decided to be more regular.
And the only reason is because I had school off today and you didn't have to work. So
snow day. Jeff is one of the few adults in the world that still gets to experience snow days.
Yeah, that's awesome. So work at a school. There's more than just snow days that is awesome about it, but it's one of the benefits for sure. The second part of that question is I won't call anybody out on the mic after a fight because I think I've said this before as well. I think it's disrespectful to the opponent you just fought. I think it's disrespectful to the person that you're calling out, and I'm not in this game to be disrespectful to anybody. I have respect for every single person that has ever set foot in that cage, regardless if they should be there or not. But you know, if the matchmakers or the powers that be ask me, give me that option, who do you want to fight next? I don't know. I don't have anybody on my list, but I'm not opposed to telling them exactly who I want to fight.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting asked a question, you might as well answer. You're not calling anybody out. You're just answering the question.
So, no, I won't call anybody out, but, yeah, there's not a human on this planet that I wouldn't fight in a cage, so.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You got another one, sir?
Yeah, I got Terry Williams, who or what inspires, motivates you? It's not just one person. I would definitely say my daughter motivates me. Rachel motivates me. She's very motivating. But my coaches, Marcus Marinelli and Steve Tracek, those two guys, I mean, all my other coaches are very inspiring and they motivate me, but those two guys, like, on Saturday, I just did one of the hardest workouts I've ever done, and my 56-year-old coach, Marcus, did it with us. He went through hell with us, and if that's not motivation, I don't know what could possibly be more motivating than a 56-year-old man that obviously has more things wrong with his body than I do at 30. Yeah. He's doing the same exact workout as me, and he's pushing just as hard or harder. It's like that to me shows me like
that's pretty damn motivating.
That's motivating. That's motivating. Exactly. It's like if this guy's gonna do it, and he doesn't have a fight coming up, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep up with him, and that's all it is keeping up with a 56-year-old man. That if you ran into him in an alley, would be probably one of the last people you'd want to run into. Probably be the last person you run into in an alley, but that dude is a fucking...
Which is even scarier. Like, what are you doing in this alley?
Yeah, exactly. Why you guys hang out in alleys, you hoodlums? Yeah, so...
I guess another series of questions from Eric Perry. Again, you're going to hear his name a lot, I think. Pre-fight superstitions. Meal, song, anything?
No superstitions, but I like to keep
routine.
I have a routine. Lately, since I've been obviously fighting out of Ohio, I like to chill at the hotel. When we were in Vegas, I walked around a little bit. The couple days leading up to the fight, though, it was like we had to get a workout in. Nothing crazy, nothing to get hurt, nothing to just to break a sweat. I like to jog a little bit with some headphones on. Especially in Vegas, man, it was like 110, so it was literally like a 1.5 mile, 2 mile jog, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
But it was that's my only thing. And in the back, man, is like I'm known for being just like this stone cold, no, emotionless person. Like I don't get too high, I don't get too low back there, and I think I see a lot of people getting way too hyped and warming up an hour before they even go out there. It's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, you might as well just relax.
Like it's happening one way or another. There's no ways to get those nerves out until you step in that cage. So what's the point of even getting nervous? Like I don't even get. Of course you get the butterflies, but you don't get nervous. You don't get like. I hear people dry heaving and throwing up and looking for exits and like.
Damn.
A lot of these guys that can't. They get so worked up before they go out there that they almost lost before they even got out there.
Yeah, that seems like it's almost going backwards.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not good.
Yeah, I would imagine. Shit.
I got one from Mindy Briggs. How are you feeling about this fight on March 9th? We kind of talked about that. Training camp's going great. I think it's going to be a W.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, that's a given, I would think.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Another one from Eric Perry. This guy went all out, man.
Yeah, good for him. He's my favorite, even though he talks a lot of shit.
He brings that up. Like, actually, I'll ask you 2 questions from him. Just this one real quick. Oh, hold on. Never mind. I'm not going to do it like that. That'll just be the next question. But this is a good one. If there's someone new listening or watching this, what 3 fights would you tell them to watch to best show them what MMA is all about?
Oh, man.
Good fucking question.
I would tell them to watch Stipe versus Ngannou.
That's a good one.
There was a lot of hype around Ngannou, and Stipe just blew that hype train down.
Yeah, and he was running away. Basically, he's got his tail between his legs now. He was not the same fighter after that.
Yeah, he did. His last fight, he did come back and look good, but yeah, the fight after Stipe, it looked like the guy was still lost. Yeah. That would be one. Another one would be any Cowboy Cerrone fight
For sure.
because that dude has fun doing what he does, and you could tell. You could just look at his body language and know this guy has fun doing what he does. And another one would probably be the one that we all appreciate as fighters is Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin #1, because that's what put us on the map. That's what put UFC on the map. It's what MMA on the map in America.
Yeah.
So I give credit where credit's due on that fight. It's not, you go back and watch and you go, wow, that's not as good as I remember it being, but it's at the time it's exactly what the world needed. A slugfest, sloppy slugfest that the ratings went through the roof in that fight. Nice. From the first round to the second round, they times 10 because people were actually calling each other like, dude, turn on Spike right now.
Shit. Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah. Let's go. Your prediction when you'll crack the top 10 heavyweights. I kind of brought that up. I want to be in the top 15 this year. But you never know how the rankings work. So if I keep winning fights, I eventually will get there, right? What can we look forward to seeing in this fight, improvement-wise? Everything. Cardio, stand-up, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, everything is going to be improved. We're still learning. If you're not learning, you're not getting better. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that one. You got any?
This is a pretty good one, too. Another one from Eric Perry. With eye poking happening a lot, do you think making a restrictive glove from extending a finger could be a solution? Still being able to lock in submissions, not just extend all the way straight. I personally think it fucked Stipe. He put in parentheses.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they do have designs out there to. There's designs where gloves you can only do this.
Yeah, which really just enough to grab.
You can still grab. This is still open, but
you
can't do this,
extend it out. So
right?
pretty much
it
just
stops
be like knuckling them.
I see with other organizations that use those type of gloves, there's a lot less eye pokes. But it is what it is at this point.
Do you think that maybe the UFC kind of doesn't try to eliminate that risk because maybe sometimes it works in their favor? Their guy that they want to push, essentially. might be able to win because of it?
I don't think they look at it as, let's see how this guy can illegally win the fight.
No, but they see it as like it could potentially help their interests.
I think it happens so little that it is very important that it doesn't happen, but it doesn't like, I think if it happened where every fight something, an eye poke was happening, like, they would probably do something about it. But the fact that it's only happening once in a while, but we all remember it because it's only once in a while. Like, if it happened every card, we wouldn't remember. We wouldn't be like, oh, hey, remember that time that... Yeah.
It would just be it would almost just be like a normal move.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It would be like, oh, just another eye poke.
Oh, eye poke. You can add it to your...
But I think they can... Maybe they will work on a new glove. I heard rumors that they were, so...
Yeah, I heard rumors of that too, actually. But...
How do you say that name? Matt Delphia?
Yeah, sounds
Delphia?
like it. Delphia.
Like what made you want to be a fighter? I don't know. Being born, man. I've always been... Mark's known. I've always been kind of a scrappy dude.
Yep.
But to be an MMA fighter is... I always liked the UFC.
Yeah.
I started right around the Ultimate Fighter 1. I started getting into it and renting them from Hollywood Video because I was living on my own at 17.
Hollywood Video.
Yeah. And I loved wrestling. I only did it for 2 years, so I went and I said, man, I think I can be a fighter. And I said it in past shows that the first year I was a 17-year-old kid getting my fucking ass kicked on a regular basis. And I've almost quit a few times, but happy I didn't, obviously.
Gotcha. Change one rule in the UFC, what would it be?
One rule in the UFC? Probably the judging.
Yeah, oh yeah, I guess you said that kind of already.
If I had to go something else, a second rule would be man, I don't know. I like everything. I don't know. Maybe allow soccer kicks to a downed opponent. Yeah, I like that. Or here we go. 12 to 6 elbows. These ones. I know I've talked in the past about how I don't think they should do it, but I kind of changed my mind on it a little bit. 12 to 6 elbows.
12. What do you mean?
12 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you meant like restricted to only 12.
Oh,
like 6 to 12 elbows.
Yeah,
or
no,
like
12 to 6 is like the
time.
Clock.
Yeah, I got you.
Can't bring them straight
so
down.
You can't extend it too much. And
the story I heard on the Joe Rogan show was that they decided when they were making up the rules that a guy that was one of the guys making the rules saw a karate guy break bricks like this, and that's why it would kill somebody, it would crush somebody's skull. He said. Damn. Which is not is furthest from the truth.
Not only that, but like that brick breaking is a lot easier than they make it look.
Yeah, there's spacing in between the bricks.
Not only that, but like if you just drop a cinder block, it fucking cracks into a bunch of pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I would definitely change that rule.
All right. A lot of fighting questions.
Yeah, which is to be expected.
It makes sense. But,
what's a better perk of making in the UFC, the fighter groupies or the status? Well, I don't.
That's a good question.
I don't have any fighter groupies. I'm happily dating a beautiful girl that I plan on marrying, so I don't even look at that. The status. What does he mean by that? Like, oh, I'm a UFC fighter. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
No, I mean, I haven't changed a bit.
No, you're pretty much the same exact guy, just more successful.
Sean Surface, I love the question. For him, it would definitely be groupies because he loves groupies. Yeah, so I can't really answer that honestly. I'm sure if I was a single man, it would definitely be a little bit easier to pick up some girls saying, hey, I'm in the UFC, or people knowing I'm in the UFC.
Oh, for sure. I believe that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with this one because so many fighting questions. But also
I got a couple
Eric
left.
Perry. One CD stuck in your car for a year on repeat. Which one? It's a hard one.
Oh, man. How about you?
That's a difficult one. I think the smartest answer would be some sort of soundtrack because you'd get a bunch of different.
That is a smart
songs.
answer.
So
but you're going to get sick of those songs.
Yeah, I don't know what soundtrack I would want, but I mean, I could probably always listen to Good Apollo 1 from Coheed and Cambria.
See, you like Good Apollo 1. I was probably going to go with their second album.
Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. Yeah, that's kind of my go-to. If I had more time to think about it, I could probably give you a real legit answer. But right now, that's probably what my answer would be.
I mean, the good thing about that is if you do, obviously you're going to get sick of that as much as I drive, but you can always just turn it down.
Yeah, that's true.
But, that would be it, because obviously we're both, you are a Coheed Mark for sure, and I am as well, but not anywhere near you.
Yeah, no, I spend, like, every time they have a new album come out, I spend, like, hundreds of dollars.
But if I got to go away from Coheed, it would be either a Tool album, or...
Yeah, Tool's a good one.
Or probably one of the first two albums from Funeral for a Friend.
Okay.
Seven Ways to Scream Your Name, I think, was the name of their EP, their first EP, and then it wasn't I can't remember the Casually Dressed or something like that. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember.
I'm so bad with names.
I had one of them, and I couldn't even tell you what it was.
Yeah, that would be my pick. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
When did you realize you had it factor to make the UFC?
Oh.
I think my very first, probably when I fought John Hawk, because he was an established guy. He's a teammate. He's always been a friend. That was the one time I fought a friend. But now we're better friends because he was always a strong style guy.
Oh,
and yeah, we still to this day train, and he's tough as they come, man. He was one of the toughest guys I've ever fought. I would say that was it because in my opinion, I won that fight, and he was a guy that was knocking on the UFC's door for years and years and years. And when I won that fight, I go, okay, I can hang.
Yeah, that fight proved a lot to yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's when I'd open my eyes and I go, okay, I can make it in this sport. Instead of just being a good regional guy, I know I can be on and top in the world. So that was one.
Okay. This is that two-part question I was talking about. And I think, again, Eric Perry, he'd be upset with me.
Eric Perry's good.
He is. Oh, he's our biggest fan, dude. I call him our biggest fan.
He's my big, yeah.
But yeah. I just work with him, but like he's your biggest fan. But like I said, he'd be sad if I didn't bring this up. The first part, there's an A and a B to this question.
Okay.
The first part might be a little too revealing, so you could be as general as you want. I think. But when it comes to sparring, how close to the fight do you stop hard sparring? That's part A.
No, part A, that's an easy one. It's probably sometimes it depends. If we need more sparring, we'll do a week before the actual fight. I think my last fight we did 10 days before the fight. So a week to 10 days. Just to get that last hard sparring out.
And then it gives you some time to like heal up, not be so bruised
that's exactly what it is. And your timing doesn't mess up then. Because if you stop sparring 3 weeks before a fight, then your timing, you haven't hit anybody in 3 weeks, you know. Yeah.
And then part B of that question is, will you ever spar Sprinkles? Which you don't know who Sprinkles is.
He's Sprinkles, right?
He's Sprinkles. That's his gimmick.
I'll tell you what. If everything goes well, I will make time to spar with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because he so wants to. Like to the point he's got Sprinkles. He's basically been trolling you on Facebook for like a month now.
I know. At first I was like, what the fuck is this guy's problem?
And shit.
Yeah.
But no, Sprinkles is like he's going full on wrestling promo guy.
I like it. Yeah. At first I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you told me and I was like, oh, I like him now.
Yeah, no, he wants to film it, put it on YouTube. Basically he just wants to get his ass beat.
I don't know if I'll put it on YouTube. I'll even be okay with him putting it on YouTube, but like I get it. Like maybe some stills or something. I don't know.
I get it.
I won't beat him up too bad, like, because that's not fair.
Yeah, he loves that shit. Like, he's the kind of guy that, like, he puts on the big padded suit and lets the dog attack him at the police station.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And, like, to get sprayed by mace and a taser.
That,
you know?
I would never do. I've gotten hit with mace before. It's terrible.
But, yeah. I asked somebody. You're welcome.
This might be one of my last ones, I believe.
Yeah, I think I got.
Oh, okay. I got two more.
Okay.
This is my last fighting one, I think.
Cool.
You have been to this is from Chuck Meese. You have been to a few gyms. Do you see yourself staying at Strong Style as your career progresses, or do you see a move out west in your future? I get this question a lot because I don't know, for some people, like Chuck, his son Max is a phenom. He's one of my favorite younger fighters.
Okay.
He's like a little brother. But I get this question a lot from people that don't know the sport too well. No, I will never go anywhere else than Strong Style. I mean, you never know. Like, you just never know. But I'm 99.9% sure I would never go anywhere else besides Strong Style. It's a place I should have been my whole career, all along.
Yeah, you're the Pilgrims. You landed on Plymouth Rock. You're staying there. I'm
staying there. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, so I think a lot of people think, like, I have to be, because they do most of the fights out in Vegas and California. And, you know, if you look at the map, they do majority of the fights out west. But that's why they got planes.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to be actually in Vegas to fight in Vegas.
Gotcha.
So
I like it. And I think I probably got two more questions too, but another Eric Perry question. Do you think Amanda Nunes could beat CM Punk?
Yes.
I think so too. I don't think there's any explanation needed, but just yes.
Yes.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. She probably hits harder. Her technique is 100 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would it be a close fight? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he
he
is a man and she is a woman, and that's why men and women don't fight each other. But she would win. She'd win that fight.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. She's got way more skill. This is my last question that they asked me. From Mike. I'm not sure his last name. I don't see it anywhere. Ever considered PC gaming? Oh, wow.
I saw you liked Resident Evil. Just wondering if you play on the PC. Funny he says that, because after this fight, I am getting a PC.
Nice.
A gaming PC. Not only to play games on, because I hear my buddy just loves PC gaming.
Yeah.
But
I could afford more games, I would too.
I want to do a podcast at my house so we can mix it up, and
nice. You
do up there, I do down here, type things. Or, say we can't
get together.
We can do a Skype.
Yep.
I can have other guests in my house that, guys from my team that don't want to drive all the way to Canton. They don't mind driving to Norton.
Yeah. Just a way to expand our horizons a bit.
Right. And, maybe, I don't know who would want to listen to me ramble by myself for an hour, but
oh yeah,
I might figure it out.
That's why every solo podcast I've attempted I've just given up or failed. But yeah.
It's hard to do them unless you answer questions all the time.
Yeah. Or
who's
like
that dude
love to talk?
Who's the guy that you do a good impression of? Frogs are gay.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Yeah. He does it. I mean, it works for him because the guy likes to talk. But,
yeah, he rants. He just says nonsense forever.
Last one. Jeremy Harper. I definitely told him I'd do this.
Okay.
5 years ago, no gi at Evolve, Brian Jeffries, asked me about who was or wasn't training. He asked how you were doing. I said, he's a waste of talent. Out of everyone here, he can get to the UFC, and he doesn't train or take it serious. You walked in, and Brian Jeffries, instantly stirred the pot and told you what I said. I admitted to it, since I meant it. How bad did you want to kill me? And did that have any impact?
This is a great one. I'm glad you saved this for last.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to kill Harper. I have a couple Harper stories that I can kind of tie in with this.
Okay.
I wanted to kill him, but it was true at the time because I wasn't training hard. I was at Evolve at the time.
All right.
Didn't have the training partners. Didn't have the coaching. Oh, I did have the coach. I had Steve Tracek with me still. He was my stand-up coach. At the time, John Cook was the owner of the gym, and he was half foot in, half foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out type guy. Like, he was balls to the wall one week, and the next week he gave two shits less. I don't hold it against John. I mean, it's just what it is. What it is. Did it have an impact? Yeah, I would say moving to strong style had the biggest impact on me. Of really training like a champion.
I could imagine.
Training like a real fighter. But yeah, all that shit goes back to when I was talking about the chip on my shoulder, man. It's just some more fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I mean, Harper's cool. He's man enough to fucking ass it. He was man enough to admit to it that day too.
Yeah.
The one time though, this was probably 3-4 years ago. We were sparring. We were doing line sparring. It's when everybody lines up. And the guy in front of us, we spar for like a minute, and then that guy moves down. You spar another guy. He's a smaller guy. He's probably 5'7". At the time, he was probably about 220. He's a short, round guy.
Yeah.
But everybody used to try to take my head off because
Really?
I was the big guy. I was the most experienced. I was the guy that. Yeah.
They're trying to prove something.
They were. I don't know if it was to prove something, or they thought I can swing as hard as I want at Jeff. Well, he did, and he was wearing MMA gloves at the time, which you don't spar in MMA gloves.
Yeah, they're not boxing gloves.
And it literally glanced my chin, and I was like, and I remember there was a wall probably 10 feet behind him, and I beat him all the way to the wall. I punched him all the way probably like 10 feet down the wall. He couldn't get off the wall. I just kept punching him. I was mugging him. Pretty much. Yeah, I was beating the dog shit out of him.
You're pissed.
And he finally falls down. I think I gave him 1 or 2 more. And he gets up, and you can tell he was upset about it. And then Steve Tracek, he stopped class. He said, "You see what happens when you try to unload on Jeff?" He goes, "He's a human. He's not a heavy bag. This is what happens when you try to hit him as hard as you want."
Shit.
And ever since then, from that day forward, everybody was like, okay, I can't hit him as hard as I can.
Okay. Well, now that, because I want to get this on an episode and on the record. I got a text message from Jeff about a week ago, really late at night, saying, "I take back everything I said about the Big Lebowski. It's amazing." Yes. All right. Now, with you having said that, next time you get pissed and that shit happens, the whole time I want you to say, "This is what happens, Larry. This is what happens." I want you to say that.
I did think of that. I was like, man, I get mad just like Walter.
That's who Walter is named after.
Yeah.
John Goodman's character in the Big Lebowski.
I do. I get mad just like him.
Mainly the reason I wanted to name him that is because he's my favorite character in the movie, and I could constantly quote that movie to him. But
our camera shut off.
All right. Well, people, I'm gonna fix that. Hold on. All right, people. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties with the fucking camera.
You gotta plug it in, you know.
Yeah, I forgot to plug it in, so the battery died. I think
Who
we
knew?
might be a little more zoomed in now for some reason, but it's okay. We're closer. You're closer to the heart. We each got one more question.
Closer to the heart.
Exactly. It's a little bit of rush, but this one is basically for me, but you could probably answer it too. I'm only throwing it out there because she did ask. A friend of mine from Michigan, Mo McHugh, asked, "Why do you live so far away?" Broken heart emoji. We've had this conversation. My parents, if they didn't, they got divorced and I moved out here. If they didn't, I'd be living even farther away in California. Jeff, you live so far away, probably for the same reason.
Yeah. Born and raised here. I've lived out of the state one time for about 3 months. Yeah. And there's no place like home, man. No place like Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I've been here since I was like 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old. So.
It's no different, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we know no different. When I went to Charleston, South Carolina, it was great, but it wasn't home. So,
Yeah.
I got one for you though.
Okay. This is a Jeff Hughes question.
This is Jeff to Mark.
Okay, cool. Shit, I got you one.
When can you get your license?
Oh my God.
So you can start driving. Do you need me to help you drive?
It's not about needing help, dude. I have anxiety. It's really hard for me to do it, especially in high traffic areas.
What can we do to
gets the
maybe
better of
help
me.
this?
Legalize weed? I don't know.
It's almost there. It's almost there.
I mean, I could probably go see a doctor. They just give me some drugs that would make me different.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Just, I've tried, dude. I've taken the test twice. I passed maneuverability, aced it first try. I took the driver's test twice, and I failed the same spot every single time because of nervousness.
What did you do? How did you fail?
There was a stop sign, right? I pulled up to it. I stopped. They said the first time I did it, it was a guy, and he said I was overly cautious. He said I was too cautious at the stop sign.
So you waited too long, is what he said.
Essentially, yeah. I looked too much. I, hesitated too much. I had anxiety. There was fucking cars and shit around. It was in like North Canton, where it's a lot busier sometimes, like or wherever. I can't remember where.
Canton
is it? But
on
anyway,
Market Street, which is a busy area. That's probably why they do it there.
And he told me I was too hesitant, so I failed for that. Which I was probably pretty fucking nervous. I remember being that way. That's just the way I am when I'm behind the wheel. And the second time, it was a lady. I think this lady was just having a shitty day and was just being a fucking hard ass. But I did exactly what the guy told me to do. He said, don't be that cautious. So, I came up. There was no one at this intersection either this time. So, I mean, I didn't need to be that cautious. So I stopped at the stop sign, complete stop, looked both ways again, and went. She said I was not cautious enough. Yeah. That's like almost $50 I had spent now to take the fucking test twice. And it just discouraged the hell out of me. I was like, I don't think I'm...
How long ago was this? So years.
2009?
Okay. All right. Well, 10 years ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there. That may not be accurate.
My goal...
I did not expect this question.
My goal for 2019 is to get your temps.
I did have my temps.
We're going to go back and get our temps, and I'm going to take you on some roads and let you work out the kinks.
Oh shit! Should we make this like a vlog series? Should
yes.
we chronicle this?
Yes.
All right.
There's nothing to be worried about. I'm going to tell you that driving sucks, but it's just like anything else in life that you're nervous about. The more you do it, the less you get nervous.
It's more than nerves, dude. It's
anxiety.
Okay,
anxiety.
I am physically like the anxiety when it's bad. I am like physically ill. Like my stomach hurts. I'm shaky. I'm like
right.
I'm not like that with everything, but like that's a big.
You're
gonna
smoke a bowl
as much as I do.
You're gonna smoke a bowl, and we're gonna go driving.
All right. I'll give it a shot. Just
okay.
For you. If
there's
anybody, I'll give a shot for it you.
I will get us to a country road where there's nothing to worry about.
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Yeah. No, I will take us somewhere. I will teach you exactly how my dad taught me how to drive.
All right, you're gonna be my father.
Because
for a moment.
yes, before the time you are 33 years old, you will have your license.
All right.
You don't. The thing about it is, you don't. At this point in life, you still don't need to drive. But if you needed to, the option is there.
Yeah. All right. No, I mean it's good. I mean I don't have to drive. I don't have to buy a car. I know that's another thing that's an issue. Like I can't afford a car, and I can't afford insurance every month and a car payment. Maybe you know what I mean, or whatever.
We'll work. I'm just saying though. But to have for that option to be there, rather than I can't do it because I can't drive.
Yeah.
I want you to have that option.
No, I get you, and I appreciate the.
It's not a knock on you or anything. It's just I feel like
you're not the only person to ask me this question. There's been multiple girlfriends, other friends. You know what I mean? What's the deal here?
Yeah, maybe sometime down the road you meet a nice girl. You want to take her on a date? You can drive.
I can actually do it. Yeah, I don't have to convince girls to meet me at my home. Or, yeah.
All right, that's
Well,
my
good
only
to know.
question.
And I guess look forward to that, people. What a hell of a ending to the show. With that said, this has been Jam Up number 22. Definitely notice and appreciate that there's no housekeeping at the end of this. If you've gotten this far, you've already seen at the beginning that I now have pre-recorded the housekeeping just to get it out of the way and just get the show on the road.
Yeah.
No more bullshit. Give you the show as complete and soon as possible. Kind of like Joe Rogan. You know, he does his little shtick at the beginning. You could press the 15 seconds ahead thing like 14 times, and then
you're
it's
there.
done.
And I like that about him too. Is there's unlike the other podcasts I listen to, there's no ads in the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like if ever we get some sponsorship on this show, we'll do the same way he does it.
Exactly.
Do it in the
Like,
beginning.
You won't. You
can
hear
either
the,
listen to it or you can skip it.
Yep. You won't hear the intro. Like you'll just have it at the beginning, and then once you hear the music, just like any other time, you know that's when the show's starting.
So that's a good show. I mean, for just us,
Yeah, and we actually went a little longer than I think we expected to, but
Q&A was fun. We'll have to do it again after the fight.
Yeah, there's actually we still have a few questions, so maybe we'll do this again.
Save that for
soon.
next time.
Yeah,
But
and
I have to get going.
Yeah, and I gotta piss really bad. So, thanks for watching, everyone. You can follow Jeffy on Twitter and Instagram, of course.
Jeff Hughes MMA.
And yeah, until next time.
Hogan must pose.